G'day team, and welcome back to another video on functions and graphs. So today we are going to be looking at rational functions, so a little bit different and a bit of an extension from reciprocal functions, but the premises still remains the same. So a rational function is obtained when we divide two functions together, so it looks like a fraction. So we have a general function equation here. The graph of y equals a divided by x minus b has the following features. So the vertical asymptote, so instead of the vertical asymptote being on the y-axis, it actually moves with this b value. So we've got to be careful with negatives as well. So if we have x minus b on the bottom, it actually means b is positive and we move to that b value. If this is a plus, then b is negative and we move to negative of the value b, okay? Our horizontal asymptote stays at y equals 0. And if b is not equal to 0, then our y-intercept or intercept is negative a divided by b. So our general function will look something like this. So the only thing that's really changed is our vertical asymptote has moved and we now have a y-intercept here. All right, but other than that, is the same as drawing our rational function. So we're going to get straight into graphing one together. So I've gone ahead and done our axes and our vertical asymptote because we all know that is where that stays. So the way I like to attack these questions is identify A and identify B. So in this case, A equals 3 and B equals positive 6 because we've got this negative sign here. B stays positive. Now, our vertical asymptote, okay, that is equal to 6 because it's just equal to b. And our y-intercept is equal to negative 3 over 6, which is negative 1/2. Okay, so we've got our key information. We can now graph this function. So first things first, let's put in our vertical asymptote, and that is through x equals 6, so down like this. And then just labeling that like that. Now we almost have a new origin, all right? And this is the sort of reference point for our function. The last thing we need to put in is where our y-intercept is, and that is at negative 1/2. So because a is a positive value, we are looking in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. Now in quadrant 1, it doesn't really matter where we graph this line as long as it's nearly touching the horizontal and vertical asymptotes. If this value increased, then this bump would be out here. That's the only difference. And then on the bottom, we're drawing it close to the asymptote through the y-intercept and then down close to our asymptote on that side. And we just put in our label for our graph, just like so. All right, it is as easy as that. That's a very basic example. They do get a bit trickier when we add in negatives and x plus b. So just keep in mind that if it's a plus b, then we need to put our asymptote in the negatives. And if it's negative a, then our graph will be in this quadrant and this quadrant over here. All right, keep that in mind and you'll be fine. We'll see you in the next one.